Is the most important not talked about thing in probably 50 to 60 years in the United States, most especially in schools. It crosses economic lines, it crosses political lines, and it's so simple. What's up, people? I am actually dyno tuning this model car, which is highly trivial because I had a massive epiphany. And please, if you're ever going to watch any of my videos, this is the one I want you to watch. So, something hit me the other day profoundly that I think will matter to all of you. I was at a slot car track, commercial hobby shop, where they race these big old school 1960s kind of slot cars we were building. And I had invited a man who recently came out to Genius Garage with his young son and young daughter to come race slot cars and check it out as a nice thing. Now, I didn't have to do that, and it certainly takes time and effort on my part to look after and spend time with these young people. But I enjoy the hobby, and I also enjoy giving young people the opportunity to grow faster than they would be able to on their own. And something hit me hard. When I looked around and I saw this slot car track that few people know of or do anything with, and no one's really helping out young people learn, like what Genius Garage is. Genius Garage is the only place on planet Earth that lets college students do what they do, build airplanes and cars. And now effectively I was doing it with younger kids in slot cars. And you can use the buzzword STEM. But the epiphany was this. The super rich will spend $250,000 building a custom slot car track to put into their den, man cave, or car collection. They might even get a magazine article on their beautiful slot car track. But I realized that moment that I was the only person giving slot car stuff to kids to teach them engineering and science and spend my personal time mentoring them to grow. And I looked around and there was no structure and no care. And none of those rich people were doing a damn thing for any young people. Now, some of you may be thinking immediately, well, Casey, this is America and this is capitalism. You can make your money and do whatever you want. Well, that's true. There's a but. And the but is the most important, not talked about thing in probably 50 to 60 years in the United States, most especially in schools. It crosses economic lines, it crosses political lines, and it's so simple. So, it bothered me that when I realized just the absurd amounts of money was spent by a person on one of those slot car tracks to rekindle their youth. They'll spend $250,000 to feel like a kid again, buy some toy cars, race them around, maybe with their buddies once or twice. But they're not doing anything for actual kids. And it hit me. We all have a social responsibility. That's part of what civilization is. But no one ever talks about that at all. It's not taught. The idea of the American dream was make all your money so you can do whatever you want and just piss off and retire. Okay, that's nice. Guess what? You still have a social responsibility. Something like a civic duty for the rest of the world, people, community, the environment, ethics, philanthropic giving, education. Now, this is something that's fascinating. You may say, well, Casey, you can't tell people what to do. You can't make them help out. That's like socialism or communism or something. Hold on. No. It's called being human, caring about others and caring about your community, your nation, and your civilization. And the thing about it is this. If you're fortunate enough to have means or be successful or gain, whether that's business, that's your corporation, that's you personally, maybe you were born into it, you are still part of a community, nation, and civilization. And when you have the means and power, by all means, live well. I think we'd all like to do that. But if all you do is keep that to yourself, or worse yet, stick it in some foundation that doesn't actually do crap, you appoint one of your dumb relatives to look after so they make a salary, but basically you're just spending all the money on overhead so you can pat yourself on the back and get little magazine articles about your stupid foundation that doesn't actually do anything. They exist. I'm being nice not to name them. That's not it. Now, social responsibility just blew my mind when it hit me. It's so simple, but no one talks about it. A civic duty? Oh, come on. Like anybody in modern times would talk about something like that. So let's talk about capitalism. It's something that we like, and let's just for the moment consider the United States as a capitalism type of scenario, okay? And by the way, if you guys make this political, I will delete all the comments because we can have this conversation without being political. That's not what it's about at all. Without social responsibility, without civic duty, without caring about others, that's where it starts to crumble, literally. More even than that, I think that's what's at the heart of the divide between the baby boomer generations and the younger ones. There was a woeful lacking of civic duty and social responsibility. Hence the younger ones having resentment. That also is an underlying factor. But let's think of it this way. Let's say there's no social responsibility, no need for civic duty, and the American dream is just make all the money you want for yourself. And let's just forget about it if you find a balanced, happy life after that or not. But let's just say you could make all the money for yourself, and then just keeping it to yourself with your friends, cronyism. All that's doing is making the class divide and separation between rich and poor worse. The middle class starts going away. Everything gets worse. And it eventually breaks down a decent system like capitalism because nobody gave a damn about anybody else. Nobody cared about the civilization or the community or the nation. There was no more civic duty or social responsibility. That stinks. How many leaders, many monarchies that were corrupt, that thought of themselves, that were overthrown through history? What, names like Antoinette, or Romanov perhaps? When will it bite us? You know, it's funny. All I wanted to do was share slot car racing and engineering and racing engineering and automotive history with some young people because I care about the future. And I like engineering and science and fabrication and race cars. I think it's fun. But it hit me that the last 6 years of my life building Genius Garage, whether I knew it or not, the epiphany I had back when was just, it hit me that I had a social responsibility. It was literally just a civic duty to do that. I had the ability and the means and the positioning to just do it. So I did. Why? I'm certainly not better off monetarily for doing it. Kind of skinny, working hard, not eating a whole lot. But I had to do it because I had all the fun that I wanted to do with my own life. And I got to a position that I frankly wanted to make the future better. So I hope this is fascinating for you guys to think about. We all have a social responsibility. You know, my grandfather and grandmother, World War II generation, they would talk about how during the Great Depression, the thing about it is you'd help other people. If you had an extra blanket, or like the shirt off your back, so to speak, to help each other, to work together. That social responsibility and a civic duty to care about others was something. When was it lost? It needs to come back. So, I'm going to show you guys my 124 scale slot car with active aerodynamics on the dyno, which is pretty cool. But I have a call to arms. for you guys right now. So here's what I'm going to do this winter through Genius Garage. In the greater Detroit area, in Lincoln Park, at Downriver Speedway and Hobby, the slot car track where the Shinoda Reunion race is going to be, we are going to do a Junior Genius Garage with 124 scale slot cars. For young people, probably in that like, kind of like 7 to 13-year-old range. And they're going to get supplied with chassis, bodies, equipment, everything they need, their own control, their own pit box. All of that is like a scholarship, effectively for free. They have to apply. Their parents have to be into it. Because we care to teach engineering and science and hands-on, real-world, fun learning, competition, all the things that lead to a better tomorrow. And I like the hobby and I like motorsports history too. A gentleman recently connected with Genius Garage, and he just plunked down $1,200 for that. So I've never done this before, but I am asking you all out there that if what I said to you moved you in a little bit of a way, then let's just do something little to start with. Let's get young kids with their parents out with mentors who care, building and racing and engineering and doing something great in a great hobby. And let's do it up by Detroit and Toledo area. People need a leg up anyway. There's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing, you put some crappy name on it. We're better together. And the gentleman who donated $1,200 doesn't want his name on it. He just says, you know what? I would have spent that money on car parts, adult apple juice, or women. I'd rather see you go teach with it and make the future better. So how about it, guys? Let's do something with that social responsibility. Let's have some fun and make the future better. Want to see my slot car? Okay, check it out. So, this is for the Larry Shinoda Reunion race. Check it out. Okay, but here's the cool part. This literally is a rolling dyno for a slot car. I got my controller here. I'm switching it over. Now, if this gets to about a 3, that's like 50 miles an hour on this. But here it is. Under braking, it goes to full downforce. You ready? Maybe I was wrong on that 3 numeric. Let's see. Where is... Ooh, here it is. I think I was wrong about 3. No, 3 is 50 miles an hour. Well, I must have had a higher load on it. In any case, you know what? I feel inspired. I feel invigorated. And I hope you guys do too. Because I'm tired of looking around and seeing things not be as good as they should. And you know what? When good people look around and see the world isn't the way it should be, well, that's your cue. Let's get up and do something about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and that if you did, please share it. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.